Okay, so I'm making this little tutorial to help you through the homework. There's some differences from what you used to be doing for homeworks where there's either a web page you go to, get some information, and fill it out in a PDF. Here we're going to try to use Google Earth. There are a bunch of versions of Google Earth. We're going to use the web-based version, so there's nothing to download. You're just going to click the link that's up there, and Google Earth will load. It takes a few seconds. I know we're all used to instantaneous loading and everything. That's a lot of data here, so don't freak out if it takes a few seconds to load. What we're going to do is also use this landslide.kml file, and we're going to open that file in the Google Earth web version. So you'll need to download this and place it somewhere where you can recall where it's at so you can find it. And then you're going to answer the questions in a quiz, a Canvas quiz, but everything you make that's asking a question is called a quiz in Canvas. But here, it's not a timed quiz or anything, it's just where I put the questions. So instead of writing them on and resubmitting, you can just go here and type in your answers. And when you're happy with all your answers, you can submit, and then I can see them and I'll grade them that way. So I'm going to show you what the Google Earth looks like. It kind of looks like this here. So here is the Google Earth once it's loaded up like that. And so what we're going to do is go over here to projects. I want to expand that a little bit. And it gives us the ability to create our own project or open one. We'd like to open one. And then we want to find where that file is. So hopefully we can look here and see that it is somewhere in all my mess of stuff. And we go down to our mass wasting here. And here it is here. We're going to open that. And so we're going to say don't bother us. So here we have some stops. And so what this does is this allows me to point you to a specific place. So you might get some of these pop-ups that are encouraging you to do or go certain places. But we want to just go to these stops because if we look at let's see if I can get back here for a sec. If we look here, we can see that this is the quiz. So when you click the Here button, it'll open this quiz. Like I said, it's not timed, so if you open it and you read through it and you're like, I want to do it right now, you can close it. It's all good. But it's going to ask you a question about stop 1, so you need to go there and determine what type of mass wasting event it is. And then I want you to visit stops 2 and 3 and think about factors that are contributing to the failure that you're seeing there. So of course, in the lecture, in the videos, and the articles, it talks about what contributes to unstable slopes, right? So geology and weight and angle and water and lots of other factors, right, contribute. You want to figure out what's contributing to the failures that you're seeing in stops 2 and 3. How can we reduce that, or what attempts have been made? So you want to look around in the image to see, have they done something that can reduce the hazard here? And of course, that's talked about in the lecture portion. And then you can go to stop 4 and look at some stuff. It's going to talk about why there's a landslide in this location and how a ranch that's growing some trees might have an impact on it. And then this one's a little tricky, so I'm going to show you really fast. Let me jump to my other page here. So look, stop 1, boom. We're going to go to stop 1. So it's going to bring us around, la 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 la, depending on the speed of your computer and lots of other things. So we can close this window out. But this is the general area I want you to look at. And so you can see that there's some issues here. And like I said, it's taking its sweet time loading because there's a lot of data. But you should be able to move it around a little bit here. And you can zoom in and zoom out. So you're looking at this area here, like what would we call that? How would we categorize that? And then you can even look down slope as you go. And here's stop 2. So of course we could just jump to stop 2, or you could slide down to stop 2. But for stop 2 and there's a stop 3, so we could keep going down, or we could just say, all right, we looked at stop 2, see what's going on there. Let's look at stop 3, so we'll go to stop 3, just a little further down the way here. And then we can close this out because it's in our way. And of course we can zoom in and zoom out a little bit. We got this plus and minus. And so you could see, like I said, it's going to depend on, takes a minute for the load. You could see there's some issues here with the cliff. and potentially some ways that they're trying to keep the cliff from failing. And that's what I want you to do for the question about, what's happening here and how might we prevent it. And then I ask you to go to stop 4. And we're going to fly over there. Same thing, we can close this little box here because it gets in our way. Maybe we can close it. There it is. So I probably have like 37 windows and 22 tabs open, so that's why my computer's a little clunking along probably. But here, same thing. You could hopefully be able to visualize that there's a problem here. This row doesn't look like it's complete. There's some failure here. So really, you don't necessarily have to look at this, but the idea is that there's a huge avocado ranch up here, and how might having that here above this steep slope impact, or cause a failure like this. So I want you to just think about that and give me an answer for that, of course. Stop 5 is going to once again fly us around, and it's going to take us to a location. Now this one's a little harder to see, so I'm going to point it out to you here. Once again, it takes a little bit to load. You can see it's kind of chunking along. But what I want you to look at here is I want you to get close to where this little icon is. So I can drag it over a little bit once my computer, that's my super fast computer with 4,000 windows open. So I want you to see or think about what might this represent. So I'm going to zoom in. Oh, Lord have mercy, that's a lot. So I want you to look at this. Oh, don't do that. So now I'm zooming back out. I want you to look at this feature right here, and what do you think that might be, and what might it be an indicator of? Okay, so we're looking on this steep slope. You can move around probably a little better than I can potentially, and take a look at that. Make, an educated guess on what you think that might be. And then the last stop is stop 6 here, and this is just we talk about in our lecture that there is some landslides that run out really far, and there's some properties associated with that. What I want you to do is zoom out a little bit here, and I want you to tell me, so this is an old landslide that rushed out onto the valley from Silver Peak here. I want you to tell me how far did it rush out here? What's the distance it traveled? And you can do that with this ruler tool here. So you can click it, and then you can measure the distance between these two. And just because I can't remember 100%, if we go down to here, it says use kilometers. There you go. So make sure you choose kilometers for that, and then you can measure that. So I didn't mean for this to be so long, but the idea is that you'll use Google Earth Web. You'll upload that little file, which will basically just tell you where to go. Click them, have them go there, make some observations, and answer the questions. And then when you're done, you can just hit submit. Oh, this last one, don't forget to do this one. This has nothing to do with the Google Earth, just a final question. Looking at this picture and some of the information given here, just answer these 3 questions. Okay. And if you're still confused, feel free to contact me and we'll try to work it out.